Alright, well, this is a full freaking house here, boys. Hey, no matter what, like, I don't care if I have 40 people in here, or 2 people, or 3 people, I'm just excited. And if anything, this is more personal, so you guys can ask me any questions, stop me at any point. We'll just talk, we'll go through a glass of fun, alright, when it comes down to it. So really quick, I guess I'll freaking start, and we'll get after it, alright? Alright, so really quick, just about myself. I was a punter and kicker at the University of Maine from 2013 to 2017. I grew up right outside Boston, so Coach, you'll be able to hold up.
I'll be back in and introduce one.
Okay. Get the only subject one. Pretend you didn't hear anything about that, okay? Nothing. Just Nate. Yeah, we're about.
I'm originally from Punting.
Okay. Tough life you live, huh? We're in Cape. Very nice. Very nice. Where'd you grow up?
Auburn, Maine.
Gotta love it. I was just in Lewiston this morning. Oh, Coach. I'm hopefully gonna get back to 11 this year.
Yeah.
Let's get after. You guys had an incredible year.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was a good group of kids.
Yeah.
We always did deserve it.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm really happy. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, whether it's kicking, punting,
Right.
you know, hey, whether it's kicking, punting, whatever other position he plays, dude's just he's a dog.
Yeah.
He's a dog. So he's a junior, right?
Yeah.
Going to be a senior. How are you guys looking this year?
We should be alright. Should be alright. Obviously getting him back helps.
Yeah, no doubt. Big time.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
We get three offensive linemen back. We lose a decent amount of our secondary.
Yep.
We'll be alright.
Yeah.
Getting ready.
Yeah, it's just I was gonna start.
I was just gonna leave a recording then.
You can record. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. So just to give you guys a little background, probably just you guys, which is totally cool. We're gonna go over kicking, punting, long snapping, holding, the whole deal. I personally learn better by watching, so I'm gonna show you guys a ton of videos so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about on different things. Because my whole philosophy. How are you, Coach? I'm Sam. Ryan, nice to meet you. My whole philosophy is just smooth, comfortable, consistent to the ball. Like, let's take away variables, not adding in variables, because a lot of things can happen if we add certain shit to our kick or punt. So I'll show you guys a ton of videos, but like I said, with 4 people here, if there's anything that doesn't make sense, or you're like, what is he talking about? Tell me, all right? But we have I put this thing together, we got about like 60 slides to go through. Now don't let that scare you. And a lot of this, like I'll show you guys here, and you guys can come up and try it out as well. So like when we talk about punt grip and things, I'll pass around the ball and you guys can feel that outside. Again, I'm a middle school PE teacher, so like I teach, I love teaching, I love coaching. So anything that I can do to help you guys learn, that's again why you're taking this hour session and stuck with me here. So, you know what? I'm gonna make the executive decision unless Steve is out here, so stay on. Where do you coach, Coach?
Winton.
Awesome. How far is that away from here?
About 45 minutes, 50-minute drive.
North. Got it. Oh, okay. All right. So Lewiston, Auburn, right? Winthrop is like 15 minutes.
Winton's probably about 25 minutes from there.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm still putting together my main
If you had to put like a
geography.
gas step from Lewiston,
Yeah.
you have to go through.
Gotcha. And then I'm figuring out that Levitt is actually in Turner, right?
Yeah.
Because that was when I went up to work at your school. That was one of the best drives I think I've ever taken in my life. When we go up that hill to get up to your school and see the sunset, holy crap, that was incredible. That was incredible. All right, I didn't see Coach, so we're just gonna start this thing up. I don't need an introduction. I'll talk about myself and we'll have a good time. Sound good? Awesome. Coach, just right on time. I was just saying that we're gonna wait for you.
You did a great job. I know he's going to come down and work with some of our guys at Lewiston sometime later on in the spring. There isn't a better special teams guy around than Sam Lenson. On top of the fact he dates one of my former players. His stock went way up, and she said he was a good dude. I said, he's all set. But no, it's all good, guys. Enjoy. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you for the introduction, Coach. So, right, really quick. How you doing? I'm Sam. All right, nice to meet you. Now, since we have literally 5 people in here, I feel like I can do that and it'll be okay. So guys, like I said, before I get going, if anything doesn't make sense, if there's a question that you guys have, if there's something you guys want me to talk more about, would love to elaborate more on that, okay? Really quick, how you guys doing? My name's Sam Lenson. I punted and kicked at the University of Maine from 2013 to 2017. Like I talked about earlier, I grew up right outside Boston, 15 minutes away from Boston College. We were getting ready to play them in the 2014 season. Thursday practice, getting ready to take a kickoff. I ended up tearing my rectus femoris in half. Largest muscle in your quad is like a sniper injury. Like trainers were laughing at it, like thinking like, oh, a kicker got hurt, but literally couldn't get up. 9.5-month recovery, 10.5-month recovery to get back. I was never able to get back to 100%. If I took my pain off, you would see like a massive divot in my leg. It's just putting spaghetti back together. That's what the doctors told me if I was able to get back. Worked my tail off to try to get back. Kicked in 2 games, but I was the holder my senior year, which was the incredible opportunity to be able to quarterback that 4th down unit. In 2018, I went to Israel. I worked with the national football team, played on the national football team, which was a really cool opportunity to be able to grow the game, kind of chat about something that's super passionate to myself. Went back to the University of Maine from 18 to 20. In 2019, I served as a special teams quality control coach to be able to really dive into working with specialists, creating game plans, working on breaking down film, working on to be able to, what can I do to get them to be the best they possibly can on Saturdays. After that, I graduated from the University of Maine. I'm a middle school PE teacher currently at Noble Middle School. And then I was a specialist coach from 2020 2021 at the University of New England. So Coach Latham was over there. It was cool to see him. After learning about being what a college coach was like, I didn't fall in love with the scheme based on front side, guard for punt and different things like that. What I love and what I love doing is developing specialists and helping them to be the best of their ability. So I started Lenson punting and kicking. So right now, I'm just breaking down. These are a lot of the schools that I work with in Massachusetts. So really trying to build up the specialist one-on-one training. Maine, again, still working on it. I was lucky. I have a picture, I have a video of it later, so don't worry, all right? And then New Hampshire. These are all the college specialists that I work with privately, not associated with the school, but again, really trying to build it up in this area. And then I'm associated with the University of New Hampshire. I'm sorry about it. Colby College, University of New England, and St. Lawrence University. So I work with their specialists, whether it's Zoom or whether it's one-on-one in person, creating practice plans, breaking down film, and making sure that they are able to be the best that they possibly can be on game day. So again, just a little bit of background on myself, my philosophy. There's no one way to kick a ball. Yes, there are certain fundamentals that we have to follow, but I allow for nuances, allow for them to be themselves while they're going up there. This is a motto I have in life, and I like putting this on there. Never too high, never too low. All right, if we miss a PAT first quarter, are we going to be in the dumpster? What happens if it's 4th quarter and we need to make a kick? Is that PAT that we missed in the first quarter going to affect us in the 4th? So we need to make sure we stay somewhere in the middle. We're never too high, never too low. Mental success equals on-field success, being able to, everyone's on their phone before they go to bed. Put their phone away. Put yourself at South Portland High School, about to go make a kick, game-winning kick, or at Levitt or at UMaine, Winthrop, wherever. Putting yourself in the moment, you're going to be able to be more successful when you're in that moment. If you've already played that game, you've been there, you've done that. That doesn't matter if you're playing football, hockey, cricket, anything, right? Visualization helps. This is something that I'm also super passionate about as a specialist coach. It's our job to number the amount of reps. A lot of your guys too probably play other positions. They're not just specialists, right? So we need to make sure and understand that maybe our running back who's been running all practice, maybe he can't kick a ton at the end of practice. Being able to manage their reps to make sure they feel confident in their ability going into Friday or Saturday games, but putting them in the best position possible, not just over kicking them. So we're gonna hop into it. I was telling them earlier, just so you guys hear as well, we're gonna cover punting, kicking, long snapping, and holding. So I have a lot to get through in an hour. I'll be probably moving, but again, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, let me know, and I'd love to help out in any way, all right? So punting, just a quick overview on punting. There's 2 styles of punting. We have a pro style punt and we have a rugby style punt. This is based on, this will change your scheme, because if a rugby punt, we don't have a set block point. On pro style punt, there is a set block point, all right? But a lot of, if you have a running back or a wide receiver, and if I was a special teams coordinator in high school and I had one of my best athletes back there, I'd be rugby punting and all that. all right? Because it's easier to do, it's easier to teach, and also if they don't block it correctly, tuck that thing and go, all right? So 2 styles of punts, we're primarily going to talk about pro style punt, but at the end we could definitely talk about rugby style punt as well. Just a quick overview on stance and start. So we want an athletic stance, narrow base, natural height. When I have punters that come out to me like this, and this is how they start punting, I ask where their first step is, and almost every time they come in. Might as well start closer together, therefore when we take our steps, we're natural. We don't naturally walk. If you're gonna walk down the hall at South Portland High School, you're not walking down the hall like this, all right? We have to make sure that we're natural, we're ready to go, all right? If you're a righty, I should say this, I'm gonna talk about every kicker, punter, like they're a righty, okay? Just so, I'm a righty and we can talk lefties, but I wanna make sure that everyone knows we're just talking about righties. The foot you'll punt with should be a few inches behind your plant foot, so a natural start. If you guys can see me here, all right, we're just like this. Toe should be equal to heel, right foot slightly behind left, and we want to receive the ball with our arms long. We want that ball to be out 2.2 seconds or less. So it all comes down to time. If I catch the punt in like this, I'm naturally going to have to put it back out. Catch it out. So strong hands, good hands equal good punter. So a lot of practice for punting doesn't have to be punting all practice. Okay, so catching the ball out in front, putting it on the drop table, molding it, tossing it back. Catch out in front every single time. Catch it out and leave it out rather than catch it in and then bring it out. Everything goes back to time. So this is a mold. I'm going to toss around this ball after so you guys can kind of see what I mean by this. There are certain different ways that you can hold a ball. I'm not saying that this is the most accurate for your punter to hold the ball. Right? There are different ways to do it, but this is the one that I've seen the best. So easily enough, just hand shaking the ball right here. You guys can see pinky is in the bottom seam, so if you guys watch my pinky right here, across the bottom seam. All right, thumb is on the inner seam. All right, you can see this little wrinkle that I have lines up perfectly with this inner seam. And then if you guys have ever played baseball, we never want to grip that ball. You always talk about that window. We want to have the same thing when we punt. We want to be able to be in control of the ball, but we don't want to death grip it because eventually we are going to have to let it go, okay? And then we want to have possession, like I just said, relax, and then guide hands to fill the void, so we're right here. I relate my guide hand, and guys, like I teach and I coach players, like I coach specialists. They play basketball, they play baseball, so relating it back to another sport helps. When you hold the ball and we put it out there, it is just like our guide hand if we were going to shoot a basketball. Okay, we're not actively shooting with it, but we're making sure that it stays in that same spot the entire time. All right. So if you guys want to toss around the ball, you guys can see kind of what I mean by that. The last thing I want to talk about is that when you guys have the ball out in front of you, I want you to think of it like a clock. Okay, so if I have it directly out in front of me, that's 12 o'clock. If I have it right here, it's probably 9. I want to have that ball at 11 p.m. If I have it at 11 p.m., it's going to be able to hit off my foot in the proper spot, and I'll be able to go up through it. And I'll talk about that proper spot in a second, right? If we have a bad drop, it's probably going to be a bad punt. So when it comes down to it, the most important thing is getting a good drop, and we're going to talk about the drop in a little bit. Punting method, whatever feels comfortable to your punter. I talk about a 2 and a 2.5 step. So if you're going to do a 2-step, if you guys just watch me right here, 2-step, we'll start with my right foot, so it'll be 1, 2, and I'm coming through. If you want to do a 2.5 foot, or 2.5 step, you're going to start with your left, right, and then left. It comes back to whatever feels natural, okay? It comes back to whatever feels natural. Bigger is not better, okay? Bigger is not better. Whoever made that myth up just lies, all right? We don't want to get big. You guys tell me what looks more natural if I were to go punt. All right, this is my first, I'll give you 2 options, or two views. Ready? So this is the first one. You can see all my weights coming back. All right, second one, smaller, able to drive through the ball. All right, able to get up and through the ball. So bigger's not better. I follow a rhyme, small, tall, drive the ball. Drop table is the most important phase in punting. All right, can you toss me that ball really quick? Here we go. All right. Drop table, all right? We want to have it about belly button height. You can tell a punter, a high school punter, when they go like this. They catch it, and they're moving it around. We just talked at the beginning how less variable, right? Less room for error, okay? More movement, more room for error, all right? So when we catch that ball, we want to place it outside that drop, on that drop table. Now, I want you to imagine there's a glass table above the ball and below the ball. Whenever I'm going to punt, I should be sliding that ball around. Right? It does not drop, it doesn't come up, it doesn't come around. catch it, and I slide it. All right, like I said, last table, above and below. And then our arm is not as long as our leg, okay? This is where sometimes when you see a punter and they're punting it and you kind of see them like this when they're making contact with the ball, they're not using their whole leg, all right? I talk about a float. So if you see my elbow right here, it's not totally bent, it's not totally straight. I have a little bend in it, right? And when I go to drop the ball, I float it out and come out with it, all right? My foot should be able to meet it there, and it'll be able to be a better punt. Yes.
Back to your last slide, you said you do a 2-step or 2.5.
Yes.
Do you ever teach a 1-step?
Yes and no. You're gonna see later that we go in one of our drills is a 1-step punt. I don't like catching it and then going into a 1-step because I feel like it's not super natural with it. So I would say if you're gonna do it, start with your right foot in front if you're gonna be a right punter, and then take a slight jab with your right foot and then be able to come through. Rather than, because I feel like if you catch it here, and especially if a snap is off, it's gonna be really hard to come back and then just jump into it. So you'll see the 1-step drill in a little bit. Good question, thank you for asking. Key to a good punt, we talk about making sure that the top of our foot, making contact with the belly of the ball. So if you guys see right here, this is 12 o'clock. This is about 11 o'clock where I want to be. When I make contact, and my foot should be right outside of my laces. We want to flex our foot. This is a really good image right here. Foot is down, all right, toe is not up. This is, he kicks for Syracuse, I'm sure he's really good. But after he punts the ball, toe comes straight up. I want to keep that toe down the entire time to be able to make sure it gets off the right spot of the foot. Follow through, we want to drive our foot up towards our head. And like I said, small, tall, drive the ball. Small with our steps, tall with our chest, we want to drive the ball. Like I said earlier, guys, I'm going to show you a ton of videos so you guys can see this. This is Colby Burner, who punts for Nichols College. So, to me, this looks extremely smooth. He's able to really get through that ball. It's a nice turnover ball to the right. Really smooth with his steps, tall with his chest. Look how upright he is on contact. He's not leaning back, doesn't really look like he's leaning forward. That's a really good hit. Right? This is a punter at Framingham State. He's 6'7", he's a really tall kid. You can see when he goes to punt, he starts on this white line, he'll end on the other white line. Taking about 5 yards to punt this ball. Really long, and then we talked about this glass table. So watch this ball, how he drops right there. All right, and then right before he punts, that's gonna come right back up. Really, really long. So special teams coordinator's nightmare is getting too close to the block spot. This is it right here. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're small, tall, drive the ball with our steps. Drills. Talk about our drop drill. All right, we'll put this on while I'm chatting with you guys. When we do drops, it's probably one of the most important drills for our punter. All right, catch the ball, putting it out. It should be able to bounce straight back up to you. If the ball bounces forward, if I'm here and the ball bounces forward, my nose is up. All right, if the ball bounces back towards me, right here, it's going to be down. All right, the nose is down. We want to have a flat belly. It should be bouncing right back up to you. All right, a drill that I like having my guys do is finding a line, putting their kicking foot on the line, and when we go to kick, that ball should be right on that line. The other drill that you guys just saw right there is a knee drill. So again, find the line, you're able to get on it, simulate the snap, ball on, opposite arm off, drop. Every time. All right? Your punter can get so much better without punting the ball. All right? With doing the drills will help them out tremendously. Catches, again, like I said earlier, guys, good hands, good punter, being able to catch it out in front. This is a video I took during COVID, back to my playing days. All right, being able to catch the ball out in front, not having any wasted movement. So even if you guys do it to your punter, snapping the ball, making sure that they have their arms out wide. One drill that I like using is putting the goalpost, having them stand behind the goalpost so that the chest of the goalpost is right here. Their arms are around it, forcing them to be out wide. Now, obviously, you guys got to give a good snap, all right, or else something get out of it. But that's going to force them to put their hands out to catch the ball. All right, again, no wasted movement. This is the one step that I was chatting about. You're going to see here, though, and I'm really happy I put this one in here, because it's not the best right. Okay? Remember I told you guys, he's a lefty, so his left foot is on the line. So when he goes to he's going to take a jab with his left foot. That right foot should stay on the right side of the line. it should stay on the right side, which will make a clean pass for his left foot to come up through the ball. Watch what happens here. See how he crosses to the other side? If you do that, and that's something I'm going to relate to all day called stacking, so we're stacking our feet like this, that left foot naturally can't come up and through. He's going to come around that ball every single time, all right? Which is, if you're a lefty, ball's probably going right, unless you slice the heck out of it, that's probably a shake, and it's going super far left. This is a better view of it. Right foot on the line, left foot on the, left foot on the left side of the line, driving up and through that ball. It's just a progression. So punt drill list, and I can get this to you guys later, and we're going to chat about it in a minute too. Punt pass drill, buddy drop drill, last step drill, drop punt. This is actually a really good drill that I really enjoy for a lot of my guys, especially if they're maybe not the most consistent with their drops. Having them do a drop going through here, drop, and then the last one, they're staying the same, but they're punting it through. All right, to keep the same rhythm, same consistency, being able to get through that ball. All right, like I said, guys, a lot of film review, so we're able to watch the video. This is Kyle. He's a long snapper at Bryant University. Again, with Colby, you can see that ball drops right here. He is able to get that back up to that plane right here, which is not bad. You can see it's a good drop. I would like his body to be more up and down than leaning back with it, okay? But he's able to really get through that ball. In a perfect world, that last step would be a little smaller, so therefore he's not, if I could draw him sitting in a chair. You can see my mouse, sitting in a chair right through here. I want to stand up. So guys, I talked about stacking earlier. This first step, see how the white line splits his feet? So that right foot should stay to the right of the line. It steps on the line, and then that left foot steps on the line. If those both of those feet are on that line, right foot can't go past that left one. He's going to come out and around it, and he's going to go to the left. That ball should come. Yep, to the left. Okay, so again, we need to avoid stacking, clean pass, good feet. Okay, so first of all, we talked about this. Good catch, good punt. Not a good catch, all right? Then we refer to it as a glass table that ball needs to travel along in. Again, the only reason why I say the glass table, guys, is because if we add all this, there's more variables that can go wrong with a punt. We want to eliminate those variables. Goes all the way down. You can see that's not a flat drop right there. He's going to come to the left, hit that ball. I know I'm cruising. I started a little late, so I want to make sure. Yeah.
I do have a question. So I didn't see you talk about, what are your thoughts about the head staying down through the kick versus lifting up as they kick it?
Yeah, I think it's more important with field goal to keep your head down than punt. I think in a sense too, when you're here, okay, it's okay to look up because the punt has already left the foot. So again, I think more on field goal. I want them to keep their head down throughout. Let the refs tell you if it's good or not good. For punt, less worried about that. Yes, sir. I love the questions. I'll keep them coming. All right, so we're gonna go to kickoff. So overview. We want our kickoffs consistent, comfortable, confident. All right. The last thing that you need is to go out for your opening day game and be stutter stepping to the ball. All right. You want to be confident in everything that you do. Our plant foot needs to be a foot length away from the ball. I relate our plant foot. If you guys play basketball at all, or I asked you guys if anybody ever shot a basketball, I had them show me what they do. If our elbow in basketball is out here, it's going to affect our shot. Same thing with kicking. If our plant foot is off, it's going to affect our kick. Or we need to make sure our elbow is in. Same thing with our plant foot being right to that spot. We need to have quick twitch hip movements to ensure the most power. We need to stand tall. When I say crunch, we're bringing that chest down. It's contradicting movements because our leg is going to come up. If our chest comes down, we're eliminating that leg driving through that ball. Remember to hurdle after the kick. I'll talk more about that. I'll show you guys a video of it. Finding our steps, it should be anywhere from 6 to 9 steps to the ball. Consistent, comfortable, and confident to be able to drive through that ball. Finding your steps takes time. It's not something where we go off in 10 minutes and just go find them. One thing that I would suggest you guys doing if your kicker does not know their steps is having them stay after practice. Put the kickoff tee down on the 40. Don't put a ball there. Have them go back to a spot that feels comfortable. Stay behind them, maybe on if their heel or their right foot's here, stand here to mark the spot for them. Just tell them to go kick the ball. Kick the ball because there's no ball out there. But you're trying to have them find a spot that feels comfortable for them. Typical, like what I used in college was 7 and 4. That felt comfortable for me. I'm having now a new trend is that a lot of my guys don't really like going back 10 steps and over 4. If you guys ever watch Jay Bailey kick off, he's like 5 yards back. I'm all about them being closer than farther back because again, if you're further back, there's more room for error. If you're closer, less room for error. You can still be able to get a good kickoff on, and it won't affect any part of your distance. All right, there are more things that could go wrong if we are further back. The approach, this is Nick Mazie, UNH kicker. Most important drill should be a build up, so a walk to a jog to a run. Shouldn't just start sprinting at it. You're gonna see first 2 steps are walk, he builds up through it, right, and gets going to it. So again, one more time, 1, 2, and he goes. I'd like a little more fast pace on that last step, but not bad throughout it. So this is my first time at UNE, my first year here. This is my first day working with their kicker. So you guys can see right through here. Let me know what you think. But it looks really lungy and unnatural to the ball. The ball is second base in this case, but just super lungy. Yeah, just too much. So we've really worked on it to make it more natural. And again, this takes time. But we're able to find his steps. You'll see hopefully in this one it's more of a progression, walk to a jog to really picking it up through and getting through that ball. And then like I said, we never want to stutter step. You're gonna see the ball. I like this camera angle a lot because the ball is right in between his feet. You guys can see the stutter that he has. The last thing that you need is to go out to your first game and see your kicker stuttering to the ball. And especially if you guys can see as well, he kind of S's to it. Like you see, he's not gonna stay on this line, he peels off and then comes back to it. And that's a thought that a lot of high school kickers had, and I had in college too. I was like, hey, if I come off of it, I'm gonna be able to open up and then snap my hips through at the last second. Now, a lot of the times that ball went out there and Coach Charlton was reaming my ass. All right, you need to make sure that we stay on line to the ball so we're able to really get good foot to ball contact driving through it.
Are your hips square to the ball when you're making your kick?
Correct. Yep. Naturally, you're gonna be a tiny bit open. Naturally, unless you are literally straight onto the ball, you're gonna be off to the side a little bit. Naturally, you're gonna be probably like this. All right, but I don't want you like this because then you're really thinking close up at the last second. So you're gonna be here, and then when you bring your kick through, you're gonna be able to go through. Now, one thing with kickoff is that when we finish on our kicking leg. For field goal, we finish on our plant leg. And I'll talk more about that in a second as well. So stacking this, I took this from when I went to Camden last year to work with their kickers. Watch the stack, it'll happen on the second step. So the first step's fine right there. Right there. You guys see how that right foot crosses over the left? He's gonna bring him off to the side, he's gonna stack again. And it's just gonna affect our height and distance on the kick. It's not clean. So what we did is we put a cone right there to make sure. Now it's a little unnatural for him to make sure that we're stepping out, but we really wanted to focus that he wasn't stepping over himself. But it's much cleaner through the ball, and it's a much better hit. So again, if you want your kicker to be confident with his steps, I love this camera angle because you can really see, I call it train tracks to the ball. We're not stacking over, we're really making sure our feet are separate and we're able to go through. So contact point, we want to make contact using the instep of our kicking foot. So if you guys want to watch me over here, I'll do the same thing over there. We want to use our navicular bone, which is right here. It's the hardest bone in our foot. So I'm going to show you later on for field goal, proper foot position, but if our toe is up or toe is equal to our heel, we're going to be getting under the ball. We want to hit that thing with the hardest point of our foot, which is our navicular bone right through here. We want the middle of our plant foot should be one foot away from our kicking tee. Plant foot, like I talked about, is very important to the success. Hips snap close on impact. Again, not snapped to a sense like you're here and then bring him through. Little, probably 45-degree angle and then be able to come through the ball. Yeah.
About the plant foot,
Yes.
in relation to the tee, I know you're saying it's about a foot away, but is it further ahead or back?
Great question. So we'll talk more about that with field goal, with blocks. But to answer your question, if your kicker's using a 2-inch block, sorry, 2-inch kickoff tee, because in college you have to use a 1-inch, but if you're using 2-inch, we want 1 foot length away from the ball. Let's just say my phone is the kickoff tee right here. We want our toe equal to it. The reason why we want our toe equal to it is because the 2-inch tee is giving us a height line, so we don't have to get as great a block out. Now, if your kicker is here in relation to it, we're going to be way far back. You're going to probably see him hit the tee, and the ball will go pretty high in the air, maybe 10 yards. All right, so that's a great question. Toe equal to the kickoff tee, being able to lock out, drive through. All right, but it all changes, and we'll talk about that when we use different blocks. Yeah. Contact point. Just talk about our hurdle, which I'm going to talk to you guys about in a second. This is a 50% kickoff drill. This is a good drill. This is Kenny Doak. He kicked for Southeast Missouri State last year. He's a really good kicker, all-conference kicker. But what I would suggest you guys do is not take a ton of kickoffs during practice. Have them work on their field goal steps back and over with a kickoff finish. So being able to really feel that ball off the foot. You're going to see here, he takes one more step back and he gets through it. So if you guys watch one more time, big emphasis I want you to watch on his hurdle. Hopefully you guys saw it. He gets like a yard downfield with it. Yep. Because you got to think too, with the kickoff, you're trying to hit that ball 60 yards. Like it's a very violent motion. For field goal, it's more of let's put it there, let's place it there, and it's more in control. So if you guys see right here, you can use a cone, you can use whatever you would like. I use the bag in this case. Right there is the kickoff tee. It's about 1 yard away, so he's forced to get up and over that kickoff tee. Or excuse me, that hurdle. Going downfield. Again, you can get so much better without having to use kickoff. This is Jack Soule. He kicks off, starting kicker from Trinity College. Really, really good kicker, but consistent, comfortable, confident with his steps. He feels really good about it. And again, it's just being consistent with what you do. Does anybody have any questions on kickoff?
Yeah. If you wanted him to angle, he said, instead of driving it, it's just your shoulders.
There's a lot of different, like I would angle the tee that way too, and then take your steps back and over that way. It's the same thing if you're going to do an angle field goal, making sure that we're lining up. There's no such thing as like an angle field goal. It's a straight kick, except you just change the way that you line up for it. Similar to kickoffs too. Yeah. So field goals, again the basics, we talk about the instep of our foot. Most kickers take 3 steps back and 2 to the left. Now, this is one thing that I did in college, and the thing that messed me up, I would say one of the most. I am not a math person. I hate math, I suck at math, so angles for kicking was terrible for me. So on right hash, I would not be able to get my proper alignment. I would take my steps back, and then you see a lot of kickers, they put their arm out. For me, that never works. I was not able to take a 90 degree. One thing that I started working with all my guys, whether it's BC, whether it's UMaine, whether it's UNH, you see they put their thumb out to the side. When you put your thumb out to the side, you literally can't manipulate anything but a 90 degree angle. So I take my steps back out to the side, we're here, and I just follow my finger to put myself in the best position possible. All right? And again, that might work for my guys, it might not work for one of your guys, but it's just, again, this is the way that I found out that, like, if I'm out a little bit and follow it and not take a 90 degree angle to the side. I told you this slide is coming. I'm pretty happy with it. Not happy that these guys are doing it, but happy I get to show you it. Right here, you can see toe is equal to heel. That's going to be improper ball contact. Again, toe is higher than heel. Terrible ball contact. Terrible ball contact. We want to make sure right here, toe is below heel. He's really exposing that navicular. And again, Jack right there, heel is higher than the toe. We're able to really make great ball contact. Our plant foot, and this is what we said we were going to talk about. When using a 2-inch tee, our toe of our plant foot should be even with the ball. A 1-inch tee, the middle of our plant foot should be equal to the ball, and then off the ground, our heel should be equal to the ball. There are some kickers out there that I've noticed in Maine, Mass, and New Hampshire that some love the tee, others hate the tee. Totally up to them and what they feel comfortable with. Now, if I have a kicker that is a sophomore, that is like, I want to play in college, this is what I want to do, I bring him down to a 1-inch, and then I bring him down to the ground probably his senior year. When I went to Maine, I love my kicking coach. He was a great guy. I was on a 2-inch block until preseason at UMaine, and it was terrible. I was spiraling kicks in in practice with PATs, and it's really hard to make that transition. It takes a while. But if your kicker is like, hey, I just want to kick in high school and be the best that I possibly can, I'd throw them on a 2HT because it helps out. It gives you 5 yards of height, 5 yards of distance to it. Might as well take it if that's something that you want to use. Lower body and upper body, we want everything to be on the same page. So if you watch this view right here, the kicker's side arm should be by his leg. So sorry, kick foot arm right here should be right by his foot. Kicker's plant foot arm should be extended 90 degrees. It's a lateral lean. I'm going to talk about that in a second. We don't want to crunch the ball, all right? And we don't want to windshield wipe it. Windshield wipe is when arm comes down, out, around, here, all right? We want here to here the entire time, all right? Kicking shin parallel to the ground, that's something that I'm super passionate about. If you guys see a lot of kickers that have super high knee drives like this, it's contradicting to what we want to do. Because if we go super high, we're coming down on the ball and then trying to go back up. It just doesn't make sense in my opinion. So I try to have a 90-degree angle to it, knee drive to the ball, and we're able to go through it, okay? No step contact drill. I like this video because it shows a good contact point, but you guys can see the high heel. He goes past 90 right there, and he's coming down on the ball. But it's just a way. It's just a way that we can make sure we have great ball contact. Right there, every time. So I just have my knee up to it, I have my hands behind it. Don't put your hands in front or else you're gonna probably on a one-way trip to the ER. So make sure that you have your hands behind it. Knee is right up to the ball, and we're able to make great contact, really focusing on the navicular. This is a no-step lean drill. This is a drill that I use with all of my guys, especially if they are not getting end-over-end ball contact. If you see a lot of them are Xing it. So again, if you guys see this was end-over-end. X is when it comes out like this. All right, that's improper ball contact. So I use this no-step lean drill, which is something that I truly believe in. Charles Ruhlin, UMaine kid right now. You'll see he's 6'7", just a mammoth of a human being. But we have his left arm out, which creates that natural lateral lean right through there. And again, this is the same position that you're going to be in when you kick the ball. I put that, I'll show you a video right here. Leg comes back, a little high, comes down on it. Great ball contact, and that's all we're looking for. This, I want you to imagine there's a pole in his left hand. This is the exact drill that we're doing. We're putting him in contact position, really focusing on locking that foot out. Again, right here, Trevor Payne kicks at Pingree Academy, focusing on chest up, arm out, creating that lateral lean, that lock in his foot, leg comes back, throw. Your goal is not to hit a PAT or hit a 30-yard field goal. You're just working on ball contact right now. And again, I challenge you guys later. We talk about that lockout. It's really hard to get lockout when you're standing straight up and down. But when you're leaning, you're able to really create that lateral lean, create that perfect contact position with our foot. So again, just right here, imagine there's a pole right here. It's just holding on to that. It's the same position over here. One-step kicking drill. Putting him in the last step before we kick. So he has his right foot in front, left foot back. He's going to take a slight jab with that right foot. Same thing when we do a one-step punt. Just create that natural path to that ball. So jab, going through the ball every time. All right. He's a junior at a school in New Hampshire. Same thing here. Lefty. He's going to jab with that left foot. Come back. Go through. Our follow through is important. It's just going to help our accuracy prevent injury. You're never going to see a kicker that usually doesn't follow through. You're going to see here, right off to the side. I like to call it like a triangle. So if I'm here, this is where the ball's going to get kicked. This is where I'm at right here. My hat's right here. Isosceles triangle. This is where I want to be. I go to kick. Legs coming back, and I finish through. Okay. My leg is coming back at an angle. It's not a punt where it comes straight back. My leg's coming back here. Let it finish through where it wants to finish through, which is around. Now again, I'm not telling you that I want him to be here and then that's not what we want. We want to finish downfield, 45-degree angle off to the side. Short angle drill, 2 UMaine commits, pretty cool to have them out here. Again, these are just drills. He's trying to hit it through. Yeah, make practice harder, right? Don't make it easier. If you're going to have your kicker and you don't have an upright, that doesn't matter. Have him aim at a light pole, have him aim at the back post. All right, he's trying to hit it through here. Just make practice difficult for him. Don't make it easier, make it harder. Therefore, he's a joke. make it order. This is Michael Lewinsky. He's came on the Lobster Bowl this year for I don't remember if it's East or West, but he's a UMaine commit. The goal of this, you're going to see this is actually a pretty bad example because the ball travels over the post, but he's on the back end line of the end zone. He's just trying to hit the post. But you're going to see ball actually goes over, but it's a great hit. You guys can kind of get an idea of what he's trying to do. So again, he's trying to hit those back two posts, trying to make sure that we get our accuracy down. UNE's got to raise their posts. This is a realistic high school approach. This is a kid from St. Thomas Aquinas. He takes 4 steps back and over. I mean, you guys know better than I do, but usually high school blocking is not 100% great, so we need to make sure that that ball comes off quick. Right, so he's taking 4 steps to the ball right now. It's just taking way too long, and it's not realistic. So what we did is we changed him up. 3 steps back, 2 over. He's starting in that position. 1, 2, 3. He's coming off. So again, it's just all about getting that ball off. All right, you might have the best kicker in the world, but if your line can't do it and there's not a snapper or holder, it's not going to matter. This is where I think this is super cool. All right, guys, we talk about stacking. Watch that right foot right now. See if this ever goes. Come on now, kid. Let's go, Andrew. He stacks his right over, so that left foot has to come out. So he goes like this. His first step is here. The second step is here. All right, so he's going to have to force himself around here, and then he's going to be really open while making contact with that ball. All right, but then you're going to see this is Greg. He kicks from Marblehead. He's probably one of the strongest legs I think I've ever seen from a high school junior. Watch this pass with his right foot. See how that's not a stack. That left foot has a clear path to that plant foot, and he's able to really get through that ball. How I fix a stack, you're going to see this little PVC pipe right here that's coming in between Jack's legs. He kicks at Brookline High School. You put that right there. He's physically not going to step on that. So if you find like a little small PVC thing that's not going to hurt them, but you can put it there, they're not going to step on it. He, with his jab, his right foot usually steps over. That forces it. See how that's on the right side of that? He's going to have a lot better of a chance of a kick right there if he doesn't stack, and that helps him with that. Post drill, take 1, take 2. Let's see if I can get through this quickly, guys. Kevin Hines. Now we're aiming at this pole, all right? And then the little changes that we make yield the biggest gain. Little changes make the biggest gain. If you guys watch his left arm, watch how his left arm is super low, which brings his chest down. Everything's going to the right. He misses this kick to the right. Now, would it have been good in the game? Yeah, but we strive for perfection in practice. All right, so watch this. This is legitimately his next kick. You're going to see his left arm. That's all the cue. If I put this video on, I hear my voice saying left arm. Left arm is out, chest is up. He's able to drill the pole. All right, so again, little changes yield the biggest gain. Dry operation drills. This is how, in my opinion, one of the reasons why this past year at UNH, sorry man guys, but at UNH, we went 10 for 12, no missed field goals, 2 blocks. All right, we work this and we rep this every single day. You can see this is where Nick wants to flow through on the kick. All right, we're working this 1.30 op time, going through it every single time. All right, again, you don't need to kick all practice. There are certain things that we can do to put ourselves in the best position. Just the first lesson review. This is the first time I ever saw this kid, Trevor. He's an athlete. This is his first kick of the session. Going to the last kick of the session. Just being confident, and that's just everything I preach at my training. Just be confident in what we do. Focus on little things, and you're going to see the difference in first kick to last kick. So again, little things that we do. Putting it all together, mental preparation is critical for success. Visualization is the best way to go through to prepare ourselves for the game. Dry kicking, so like I said, not kicking the ball, but putting ourselves in that position is going to help us out a lot. And I had to put this in, guys. I'm sorry, but tides are turning in high school football. I went up and did a clinic at Camden. Where I worked with all their guys, and this is a 34-yard field goal left middle that they've ever kicked in the game. First ever one last year. So freaking pumped up, juiced up about that, and hopefully more things are starting to come down, especially this year. Anybody have any questions?
How many reps do you do for each drill when you practice?
Depends. It depends because I don't do each drill every single day. Sometimes I'll do that no step lean drill. It's usually about three sets of 8 to 10 It's not over. I'd rather focus on dry drills, things that they could do, and if they do dry kicks, they can do 100 of them. It's not going to take anything out of their play because they're not forced to kick that ball. Field goal, I'm okay with doing more, but kickoff, I'm very, very structured on what they want to do and how many reps they're going to take. So, long snapping the grip. So you guys we're just throwing the ball, but it's going through our legs now. Okay, so we're holding that ball like the normal way that I throw it. This is Bryce. I don't know if you guys met Bryce. I'm almost done, coach. I'm almost done. Got about 45 minutes left. I'm just messing with you.
Sounds good.
All right. Opposite hand, middle finger on inseam, right going right down. All right. Warm-up drills, wrist circles, playing pass both right and left hand. Two-hand overhead pass. I'll show you in a second. Dry snaps. I'll show you in a second. Everything else, I'll show you guys videos. Form, feet straight, outside shoulder width apart. I talk about drawing the line in the sand, so we want to make sure both our feet are together, so we don't want to be like this. This is going to affect our snap big time. We want to make sure both our feet are together. Naturally, for dudes, I like having and I actually trained a female long snapper at UNE, that's why I say that. I like having their toes out a tiny bit because our hips are a little smaller, so we're able to sit back into it. If you guys ever watch your high school players back squat too, a lot of the times they like having their toes out a little bit. So again, the same thing what we do when we snap goes to their comfort, and we want to make sure they feel comfortable when they're going to snap the ball in between their legs 14 yards. Hips back, flat back, arms extended. We want to be around that ball. Snap. So obviously with punt snap, we go back 3 to 5 inches. That's our long snap only. Short snap, it's okay to have a little wider base because it's going to widen the line. But sometimes kids like to have the same, whether it's punt or it's field goal. We want to keep our head still, release the ball at our feet. We want to follow through with our arms extended. Right? We want to have our thumbs to the sky, pinkies to the ground. This is the position that I want to see. I'm going to get real personal with you guys. We're here every single time. Right? You're going to see, I'm going to show you videos that echo what I'm talking about right now. Right? I'm going to skip this one. Two-hand overhead snaps, Kevin Gallick. He actually played for Lewiston High School. He told me he was really salty with all high school coaches because he wasn't first team or lobster bowl or anything like that. Started as a true freaking freshman at UNH this past year. Had a great year for us. So he told me to say some choice words to you guys, but I'm not going to do that. All right. So right there, this is our finish. We want to finish with our hands at our chest. Again, pinkies to the sky, thumbs to the ground. Goal is to get that spiral off the ball. It's just a good long snapping warm-up. This is something that long snappers can do throughout practice. If you have a long snapper that is struggling to get spirals, I would have them lay on their back at home. Start with it here and focus on that every single time. That's something that takes zero effort, and that just takes them to do it at home. All right, or at practice, or at homeroom, whatever. All right. Snap to a target. Aim small, miss small. Again, Kevin Gallick. I'm going to go through this since we're on a time crunch. Snap film breakdown. This is Kyle. He's the starting snapper at Bryant University. Watch his finish every time. Okay, he doesn't use his legs. He uses all upper body. Great ball, great laces, perfect hold. That's me. All right. So this is a great drill, especially if you guys are in the weight room with your kids. If you have a long snapper that really wants to practice long snapping, this is a great drill for just take a 10-pound weight, have them have their hands back, put a medicine ball about 5 yards away, and we want to make sure if both your hands finish at the same time, the plate will slide straight. If one hand finishes first or above and the other below, it'll go off to the side. So this is a great drill to work on finishing your hands back, so you guys can see right here. Go straight. Okay, so great drill that you can have with your long snappers. He throws his legs back right there, breaking down the snap, hands coming through. Snap breakdown, this is slow motion right here. Again, Kevin, it's my guy, you get all the drills from him. Legs back, focusing on breaking down the snap. So first legs go back, then you're gonna see his hands follow through right to the target. He's gonna hold it there every single time. 10-yard accuracy drill, working on 10 yards, making sure that everything is in check. He'll simulate a cadence, going through it, making sure those hands finish together at the same time going through. Again, Kyle, I want you guys to focus on the finish. Arms are wide. Right there every single time. Thumbs to the sky, pinkies to the ground. He's holding it there. Now, naturally in the game, you come back up, throw the bows to protect that A gap. But right now, especially in January, we're just working on perfect snaps. I love this drill. This is a drill by Matt Peeker. He's probably going to commit his 2 offers right now. Houston Catholic University, I believe, and University of New Haven. That just came in yesterday. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, transfer long snapper from Anna Maria. Just a dude. So this is a rapid fire drill. I love this drill because it takes the thinking out of it. You have someone right there, my dad in this case, that is just feeding the balls to him, and he's just going. Working on perfect laces every single time. Again, less thinking, more doing. Less thinking, more doing. All right, we'll go on to this last one, holding. We'll make this pretty quick. Holders have their right knee down, left knee up. That's something that I see in high school football a lot, and it bothers me. All right, they have their right knee up, left knee down. You want to make sure you have a target for your long snappers. Okay, so right here, all right, this is actually your boy back holding. So we'll have our left hand where the kicker's spot is. So when the kicker goes, he'll say, and especially this makes it easy if you have a block. Obviously, you know the ball's going to be on the block, but if he's off the ground, if I put it in this spot, the holder will put his left hand there. All right. If I'm a holder, I want to have a wide base. I don't want to cut myself off like this, because what happens if the snap is off to the side here, all right, or out here? I want to make sure I open this up. So I like saying your right knee to the right foot of the long snapper, so I'm able to be open. Therefore, if the ball's over here, no big deal. But if I'm cut out like this, that's a really big deal. Okay, so we want to make sure we're here. I like having my left foot pointed to the kicker, and I'm able to get my spot nice and farther out. The last thing you need is to be like this, because then you have your foot kicked. All right, that only happened one time, and that was our warm-ups at that was at Fenway Park. We played UMass. That was a cold day. That was in warm-ups. Didn't happen in the game. All right, but keep this out. All right, and we want to be able to be right through here. I got like 3 slides left, Coach. Is that okay?
You'll have to be.
Thank you.
You're bigger and younger than I don't want Laura mad at me, so.
No, sir. So the catch, guys, we'll catch the ball 2 hands, put the ball down the spot. The only and first responsibility of the snapper is to get the ball down, or excuse me, the holder is to get the ball down. In a perfect world, they'd get a good spin, but we need to get that ball down. We want to also hold the ball with our I'm going to show you guys right here. It's easier for you guys. We want to hold the ball with our left hand and spin the ball with your right hand. If you have a right-footed kicker, if you catch the ball down, you're holding it with your right hand, what your kicker is seeing is your hand here. We don't want the kicker to see the hand. Naturally, he might say he doesn't hold up, but if you see a hand here, you're going to hold up a tiny bit. Okay, so you're catching the ball, putting it down, spinning with the right, pinching with the left. I'm not a big fan of doing this because you're putting pressure on that ball. I don't like the one hand. I like the pinch on the top because I feel like I have extra, really an ability to, if I have the ball here, I can easily make the change and hold it. If I'm a holder, and for a kicker, let's say the kicker's coming in, he's a right-footed kicker, you want to lean the ball slightly towards you. You never want to lean it away from you. If you lean the ball away from you as a holder, your kicker will miss 9 out of 10 times, okay? Because we are cutting down the sweet spot of that ball. Biggest myth in the world, you want to lean the ball back. You don't want to lean the ball back. We're decreasing the sweet spot of that ball. Straighten it down, lean a little bit towards the holder. Perfect spot for them to kick that ball, especially if that toe is pointed out. All right, and the navicular is exposed, we're able to get through it. All right, again, catch the ball out in front right here. Bring that ball down here, holders down. Now, if you guys watch right here, this is it live action at UNH. It's our practice. Again, we'll go through it. Catch, down, spin. All right, we probably do 50 of these a day. 50 of these a day. Going through our whole cadence, making sure we're able to get through it. All right. You can't make a field goal if you don't have a good snapper or a good kick, or excuse me, good hold. All right. Last thing I'll say, guys, I would love the opportunity to come work with your school. I work privately with a lot of guys in the state. Last year, I had an opportunity to work at Levitt, which was an awesome opportunity, and then I also was brought up to Camden, Maine. Like I said, I showed you guys earlier, they worked and they actually were able to a field goal this year. So would love the opportunity to work with your school or to work privately with one of your specialists. But the last thing in conclusion, we want to put our players in game-like scenarios, listen to our players, adjust our practice script accordingly, like I said, guys, that, you know, a lot of, and especially in Maine, there are not a lot of true specialists, so being able to make sure that, you know, if your H-back is running all practice, make sure we're not kicking a ton as well. Stretching and flexibility is key. If you're stiff as a board, it's going to be really hard to get through that ball, having to stretch every time. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I truly don't believe in luck. I believe you practice and you are given an opportunity to perform. Okay? Like I said, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys reaching out and wanting to be a part of this. There's my Twitter, my phone number. If there's anything I can do to help you guys be successful, please let me know. Again, trying to build this in Maine, Mass, New Hampshire. But once again, any questions?